Hey, what's up, guys? Max here. Today we're talking about how to count your macros. I get this question all the time, so hopefully this is helpful. So, step number one is you're going to find your maintenance caloric intake. So, your maintenance is the amount of calories you need to stay the exact same weight. You have two methods to figure out that number. So, method number one is you're going to take your body weight and multiply by 15. So, if you're 185 pounds, you multiply by 15, it's going to give you 2,775 calories to maintain your weight. This is if you're moderately active. Method number two is you're going to go to tdeecalculator.net and fill out the information on the website. It's going to ask you for your activity level, your age, your height, your weight. It's going to give you a similar number, but if you're not, for example, moderately active, you're a little bit more sedentary, it's going to give you a different number. And what I wrote here is keep in mind that someone who's moderately active burns on average 15 calories per pound of body weight, so 3 to 5 workouts per week, and a minimum of 7,500 steps per day. Step number two is you need to find your goal calories. So if you're cutting versus if you're bulking, it's going to be different. So you're going to take your maintenance calories and you're going to subtract 500 calories. Why 500 calories? It's because in a pound of fat, there's 3,500 calories. So if there's 7 days in a week, you multiply by 500, it's going to give you 3,500. So to lose a pound of fat, you need to do this here. So maintenance minus 500. So it's going to give you 2,275 calories. Side note, you can cut calories lower, especially if you have a higher body weight. But if you're on the lighter side, this is going to make the process so much harder. More cravings, less energy, and it may cause you to burn some muscle mass, which is not something you want, I assume. So if you're bulking, you're going to take your maintenance calories and you're going to add between 100 and 500 calories. So you take your maintenance again, plus 300, let's say, it's going to give you roughly 3,000 calories. Side note, when you're bulking, you can increase your calorie surplus as high as you want, but if you increase too much, this comes at the cost of fat gain. So if you worked really hard on a cut, the last thing you want is to gain a bunch of fat afterward. You want to keep some kind of level of leanness. So what I recommend and personally do is I start with a small surplus around 200 300 calories, and I gradually increase the calories over time as your metabolism adapts. This is going to minimize the fat gain, and you'll still be able to build muscle without the additional fat gain. Step number three is you're going to find your macros. So 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories, 1 gram of carbs 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So this is very important to know. For example, if you eat 185 grams of protein, you do multiply by 4, it's going to give you 740 calories worth of protein. So for your protein macro, you're going to eat between 0.82 to 1 gram per pound of your desired body weight or your lean body weight. A lot of people have heard this before. Eat 1 gram per pound of body weight, but that doesn't really apply if you're really overweight. For example, if you're 260 pounds, you're not going to eat that number of protein. We don't feed the fat, we feed the lean tissue. Hope that makes sense. For your fat macro, so you're going to eat between zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.5 gram fat per pound of body weight. For example, you weigh 185 pounds, multiplied by zero point 0.5 on the higher end is going to give you 92.5 grams of fat. You multiply by 9 because 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. It's going to give you 833 calories. Side note, what matters most is you hit your protein target every single day and you're in a calorie deficit. The fats and carbs, it doesn't really matter the amount as long as you're not too low in fats or in carbs. But generally speaking, we don't want to go over zero point 0.7 gram of fat per pound of body weight, just for health reasons. This is going to vary from individual to individual. Some people might feel better with more fat, less carbs. Some might feel more bloated from eating too many carbs. So I feel more bloated. I feel a little bit more lethargic when I eat a lot of carbs. So you need to experience with this and adjust accordingly. For your carb macro, it's basically going to be the leftover calories after your proteins and your fats. So you take your cutting calories minus protein calories minus fat calories is going to give you your carb calories. So you take your 2,275 minus 740 minus 833, and it's going to give you 702 calories divided by 4 because 1 gram of carb is 4 calories. It's going to give you 176 grams of carbs. Number 4 is you're going to track your macros. You're going to use a macro tracking app to track your numbers. There are lots of apps out there. I personally use MyFitnessPal. It has everything you need. It's very simple to use, and I use it with all my clients. A tracking tip: when you're tracking, just make sure that you have the right data. For example, if you track your meat, raw meat versus cooked meat, 300 grams of raw meat is about 225 grams when it's cooked due to the water loss. So it's very important that you track cooked weight or raw weight. And it's the same thing as, for example, rice. Like when you look at the nutrition facts, it's raw, not cooked. So this is how you track your calories and your macros. I'm going to end the video. Hope you found some value. If you have any questions about all of this, you want help to implement your nutrition, your training, your habits, just shoot me a DM and I'll see how I can help.